explain what exactly virtualization is?
Yes, good question, Kay. Virtualization is where a physical server, say in a data center or wherever, is split up into a number of virtual servers. So where a physical server is made into a number of different logical servers. That's the fundamental of it. Effectively, it's abstracting the physical and logical layers. To those who like to speak in those terms, it's like carving it up into small little pieces, which doesn't sound that exciting until you see what you can do with it.
So Keith, why is virtualization so prevalent in the IT world?
There's many various reasons why that is the case. One of the key ones is really coming back to server utilization. In the old days of big servers, single servers, they were very, very powerful, but they tended to only maybe 30%, if you're lucky, maybe 40% if you're really lucky, of the power of the machine was ever used on average, because loading on a server is always variable. Sometimes you need a lot, sometimes you don't need much. And so one of the reasons for virtualizing is if you can split one big server up into lots of little servers, you can consolidate systems onto one physical machine, or a cluster of physical machines, and make better use of the server. So you're getting maybe 80-90% utilization. That also means you're using less energy effectively, because you haven't got a big machine sitting there idling, but only using 30% of its power. So it's got power benefits as well. That flexibility of being able to move virtualized machines on and off a server allows one big machine to maybe run different operating systems. So you can have Linux, Unix, Microsoft, etc. running all on the same machine. And also, because you're able to move virtualized machines around between physical machines, you've got a sort of a first level disaster recovery there, where if a physical machine fails, you can move the virtual machine onto a good physical machine that's actually running. So it has they're just some of the benefits.
In the Oracle world, in terms of Oracle licensing, who are the main vendors?
Well, the one we see the most is the VMware virtualization product. Now that's very, very prevalent. Coming in is we're starting to see Microsoft's Hyper-V a little bit more, and of course Oracle itself has Oracle VM, but by far the biggest we come across is VMware.
Okay, thank you. Keith, I'm not sure whether it's relevant to licensing. I've seen that systems running on VMware are not supported by Oracle. Could you explain what this means, please?
That's interesting. There's a supported by and recognized by. If we go back when VMware first came out, Oracle wasn't very pleased with this concept of machine sharing. It didn't really fit into its licensing model, and also it wasn't an Oracle product. And what Oracle said in the first instance was, if you're running on VMware, because we have no control over that layer of the operating system, we won't support the software. So if you are paying for support and the machine fails, and you want to report a bug, you have to prove to us that it happens actually on the physical machine, not on a virtual machine. Now that obviously caused a lot of bad feeling in the industry, and that got removed. So Oracle does support VMware on various operating systems. What they don't do is recognize it. They don't recognize this partitioning of machines as a means of reducing licensing, and that's a bit of a dispute between VMware and Oracle, because if you look at the VMware documentation, it explains how you can reduce your Oracle licensing using VMware, which is completely at odds to what Oracle, and particularly Oracle License Management Service, will say. They take a completely different view. So that's an interesting juxtaposition of views, and that's something that causes a lot of problems.
So you've said that Oracle recognise it but don't support it.
No, they support it but don't recognise it.
Sorry, they support it but don't recognise it.
Yes.
Okay. So is that the main problem regarding Oracle licensing and virtualization?
Yes. What it comes down to is when say recognition, Oracle defines partitioning, which is the key fundamental which affects virtualization. A server can be server partitioned. This is nothing to do with the partitioning option in the Oracle database. This is to do with server partitioning. A physical server can be partitioned, and of course virtualization is a form of partitioning. And Oracle says there's really three types now. There's hard partitioning, where a server is physically separated. That could be by taking CPUs out, or using some turning cores off in some hard way, and that's defined in a document of theirs, partitioning.pdf. Soft partitioning is where the server is partitioned using the operating system, and that's where virtualization methods fall. And they've also got a trusted partition, which is an Oracle specific partition, which says that on Oracle hardware certain things are allowed but not allowed on anybody else's. It's a thing to do with the entire Oracle on Oracle position. And so the soft partitioning is the area where virtualization comes in. And what happens there is that the easy way of looking at it is Oracle just doesn't recognize soft partitioning. So you can split hardware up with hard partitioning. But if you use the operating system or some other software like VMware or Hyper-V, or even Oracle VM in its normal sense, to separate the machine, you cannot reduce your licensing. You can't claim you're only running on one virtual machine, which means you're only running on one part of the physical server. You must license the whole physical server, and that's what it comes down to. That people believe that they have set up a reduced Oracle environment on a very large virtualized system, to find that actually Oracle's rules say, no, we don't see that, just take the virtualization away, or you've got a massive physical cluster, sorry, you're going to have to license the whole thing.
And is this something that comes to light in an audit, or,
oh, yes,
or any
regularly.
other time? Okay.
Regularly. We see it in many audits now, that because virtualization is so prevalent, it comes up all the time, and because people have been reading in the press what VMware says about Oracle licensing, and that often people are taking an optimistic view, so they get very surprised when Oracle LMS turns around and says, I'm very sorry, you're heavily under licensed. And this could be orders of magnitude 10 times what people believe. It's quite frightening.
Keith, that was a really interesting conversation about virtualization without fully understanding the full implications. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you.